All right, guys, what is up? I have been cooking. I updated the sheet. If anyone who has perhaps seen it lately, it looks like this now. It's pretty much just does everything for you, which is amazing. You put in your mana. There's only like 5 things you put in, right? You put in your mana. You leave this on yes if you're playing Spark. If not, well, then it doesn't do exactly everything for you, but then it means you're probably more well adjusted with dealing with barrier invocations, so you don't need all this. And then you put in your life, your energy shield, your fire resist, and how much recovery you get from your flask. And then what it spits out is like the gem level and the supports you can run with it. So I'll show you where you get your ES recovery, right? It's right here. Shows you whatever you have. In my case, if the gear I'm wearing, it's 3,000. That's not what I normally have. I'm wearing a bunch of no gear. You can see I have 67 fire resist. My stats are very bad. And I plug all this into the sheet. And it tells me I need 33% energy gain, which is pretty much nothing. You get this like by default, just having the gem. And then it tells you down here, based on the orange cells that are shaded, the level of gem you use, plus the modifiers you can use with it. So you could use a level 24 gem with 2 120% supports, or you could use a 27 gem naked or with no supports that give increased mana cost, or a 26 with a 10%, or a 25 with a 20, or a 25 with a 10 and a 20. All of these will finish your loop and not like super overcap you on Infernal Flame. So this pretty much tells you exactly what level gem to use and you know, what supports if you can run them or want to run them or whatever. So it does all the math for you. You don't even have to like sit around and fiddle with it. It just takes care of it, and then you're good to go. You just put the gems in and you could just go map. Like if I had less regen, it unhighlights because it's unsustainable because I take way too much damage. So that isn't, keep that in mind. If you have like, I don't think it's really possible to have below like 3,000 if you just have like a decent flask and the tree. My tree is like naked right now. I have 13 points, you see, and I have like some stuff. I could have more points if I undid these branches out to these sockets, but I don't want to for 2 reasons. I won't have enough dex to run my alchemist boon, which is kind of required, and then I don't feel like unspecking all that and then respecking it after this video. So there's 2 reasons why that's not done. So I'm like essentially a level 60 right now, except the only difference is I do have more life and stuff like that, because you could actually get a lot of life from leveling, but I'm also just like not wearing 3 pieces of gear. So, I mean, am I actually like a level 60? Probably not. Maybe a little bit stronger, maybe weaker. Some things I didn't cover in last video. This hard to kill. I didn't say to get this on your amulet, but it's like pretty much mandatory. You need to get hard to kill. And another thing would be, if you ever do it, if you're playing this build and you're doing a map and you walk and you just like randomly explode, you're normally stable, everything's fine, and then suddenly your loop just spins up and you just die. What likely happened is you got shocked, or you got affected by some other thing that increased the amount of damage you were taking. Because once that happens, your loop spins up, right? Because you're taking more damage. So you're generating more energy, so you're casting more spells, which is generating more Infernal Flame, which is casting more spells, etc., etc. So you do have to be aware of that for this build. The sheet I have set up should set you to not have to worry about each individual cast spinning you up. But if you do take damage or walk over shock or, you know, something that'll help you generate barrier invocation, you will continue to, like, you'll have to spin up and you might have to lay off the button for a second or whatever. One of the changes I want to make to the build, well, that I have made to the build, is that we don't use Mings and We don't use Mings and Ghostwrithe. These items are actually bad for the build. They, like, Ghostwrithe is a decent amount of energy shield. If you need to use Ghostwrithe at the very low gear levels, you can. So if, like, you're doing a 7 cast rotation on your Barrier Invocation, and you need to run Ghostwrithe for, like, sustain, like, health reasons, having enough EHP, go for it. You can. That's fine. But that's only for, like, really, it's really going to only be, like, low-level people, like people who just got in the mapping and stuff like that. So if you're higher level, higher gear, like, you need to get off these items. These items are not good. The reason why they're not good is if you have health, if you think about it, if you have health, having health can actually save your life if your Barrier Invocation starts to spiral. Because the thing with Barrier Invocation is that it requires you to take energy shield damage for it to gain energy. So if your Barrier Invocation starts to spiral and you don't notice or don't react fast enough, any damage to your health from your Pyromantic Pact will just completely remove that energy from your Barrier Invocation. So it's kind of like an automatic failsafe against you killing yourself. Now, does that mean you're invincible once you have some life? No, you can still definitely die. I have died now that I have life, but it's much harder to do. You have to take a lot of damage very quick, because it has to, your Pyromantic Pact has to overpower both your ES regen and your recoup to kill you. So it's pretty difficult to do. I changed my necklace to give recoup, to find recoup, and I got life on it. If you get a necklace that's recoup, life regen, and max life, and then you life modify it, life quality, it hits all three. So it's like a huge value to get those 3 stats on your amulet. You could also get a % max life roll too. I assume that's pretty expensive, or like people don't even sell them because not very many people are playing life at all. The thing with this build also is, like, nobody's playing life. People who wear int gear, well, that's not true. Blood mages are probably playing life. Like, blood mages are the only one who play life, and they don't want life regen. So it's kind of like our own gear set, which is pretty nice. One thing I wanted to add is I added Baidat's Will here for the spirit gain, because even with 5 extra spirit, we won't need any spirit on our amulet or anything. Now, you shouldn't get this until your 4th ascendancy, which is not that easy to get. So you might want to buy just some junk amulet with recoup and some spirit on it. And then I would say don't even worry about spell levels, assuming you can make that work. I mean, you can also get +1 level to your Spark by using Lightning Mastery. Don't forget that. You still can use that in your Barrier Invocation link, because you almost certainly, if you're low gear, you almost certainly will not need Impetus. You'll be doing too much damage to yourself to need the extra energy gain. All right, so let's hop this into a map here real quick. I'm gonna grab a super low tier map because there's no way I'm gonna do a 15 with these stats. So let's pull out the sheet again. It says I can run. So this is also all modifiers of the gem. So if I want to run a 27, that means I need to run... That's too low. I have to take my necklace off. All right, let's take my necklace off. So this has spell skills on it, so I have to take it off. Ooh, that means I lose hard to kill. You know, it's probably fine. What's my regen now? 2781. Is that doable? No. Oof. I have herbalism still on. Oh wait, but I lost life or something, right? Yeah, I lost some life. 1638. Because that had life on it. I don't think this is gonna push me. Yeah. Energy shield's too high.
Yes.
Can I take some energy shield out? 36. Is that? Can I run this? Oh, I can run it. Let's go, baby. All right. So, let's get a level 27 gem or 20 gem. Or 19. 19 and a 20%er. Do I have a 19 here? I have a 20. I have a 17. 17 and 6 is 23. That doesn't work. Okay, a 19 works. So let's grab this 19. Oh, 18. 18's fine too. All right, so I can grab this 18. And then I put two 20% in it. Acceleration and shock siphon's fine. And then control destruction. Doesn't have a cost modifier, so it doesn't matter. I can leave this impetus. It doesn't matter. When you're running a 7 cast, whatever it's called, a 7 cast barrier invocation, you don't have to worry about your excess energy gain. Like right now I have way too much energy gain, but I am capped, so it's not a big deal. It's okay, because you can't have more than 7 spark charges in a barrier invocation. All right, so let's check this. This should be good. Hold on. I gotta let my Infernal Flame die. One of the big things with this is you have to wait until your Infernal Flame 0 and then start casting. All right, well, I did some, I did a bad. I didn't fully update this sheet. So, hey, that's why it wasn't working. I figured it out though. You know, I'm pretty smart. SMRT. All right, so now what do I want to run? I have a, what gem level is, I don't even know what gem level. I have a 17 or an 18. 18, a 20, and a 17. Okay. I can run a 20 base. 20 with no special modifiers. This guy. There. Yeah, so I was running, this was set to 900. So I had, and I was running, I think this one? No, this one. So I was generating way too much Infernal Flame. So now, set it back to 776. Now we're good. We're here. 135. Now let's test this to make sure we're good. 162. Oh. Alright, so now we have 135. We should be good to go. So now it perfectly loops. No problems. It's not spinning up or anything. Just loops infinitely. I just made like 3 mistakes in trying to figure this out. The sheet was perfectly correct and it was user error. The sheet is pretty good. You know, the user on the other hand, not the best, not the best. All right, so we see that it works at my awful stats, terrible stats. All right, so I'm gonna go jump into, I don't know, like a T2. Let's make this guy blue real quick. Hopefully I don't get something I can't run. Yeah, we're fine. Let's make it blue. You know, we're a little baby. We're not gonna run a fully exalted map or anything. We'll put it on this where I died doing who knows what, something. Probably doing something with this build. All right, so T2 using a, what level gem am I using? 20? Pretty high level gem actually. But anyway, so we gotta charge our barrier invocation. Wait for the Infernal Flame to die, otherwise it'll spin up and we'll, you know, have a bedtime. And then I can just start casting. When you get a checkpoint, it fully refills your flask. I'm spinning up right now because I took some damage. I'm gonna stop for a second. You can tell you're spinning up because you start hearing the damage indicator, like your character getting hit more often. Play without sound. Hey, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, another thing with this build, it doesn't really matter like how geared you are. Your client is very good at getting rid of particles you don't need to see. So your like little sparks and stuff will disappear. You won't see them even though you'll still be casting. Just to stop your game from exploding. Okay. Left demon horde. That's fine. We do get, you know, it's a demon form build, so we get all our damage from demon form, but at particularly low tier maps, I mean, that stuff doesn't matter that much. Everything here is pretty squishy. I mean, I am using a relatively high tier gem, but I mean, you get the idea, right? Like, this is no problem. For my truly, truly awful stats. Now, I'm not blitzing it like I would with like a super high build, a super high gear build, but I mean, that's part of the game, right? When you're low level and low gear, you're not as strong as when you're higher level and high gear. But I mean, there you go. Even with these super low stats, you can run this fresh mapping. Just use the sheet. It'll do it all for you. One of the things to think about though, because we're like, your damage is really, you're not really doing a lot of damage to yourself. It's hard to sustain demon form stacks at this point. Okay, I'm spinning up. I'm gonna stop casting. I'm starting to do a lot of damage to myself. Because my resistances are so low, it's very easy to kill myself by accident. The more resistance you have, the safer the build is. All right, that was a bad reset. Just gonna try to get these things out of my face real quick. All right, there you go. Map done. I didn't actually finish the whole map. I'd have to go up here and clear this out. But I don't care. It's the tier 2. I'm not doing this map. So there you go. T2. Like, level, you know, I don't have good stats. My flask regen is bad. It's very bad. It's 2781. I really can't iterate how bad that truly is. It's abysmal. You definitely can get higher than that, even at level 60. So, like, this build is super accessible as long as you follow the sheet and play semi-smart. Don't kill yourself with spin up. And, you know, try to get fire resist. This is terrible. If I had 70, even if I had 75, I'd be taking way less damage. I'm like playing real danger zone. But yeah, I think that's it. I think my point is proven. Let's get out there and get some BI sparks. Enjoy the game. Have fun. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.